What's the worst punishment you ever received as a child? Not me, but my son actually. He is a little fella. As are his mother and myself. She would force him to drink nothing but Pediasure with every meal and go ballistic when he would not be able to finish the terrible frozen meal she made him. She sent a message to me saying he was hiding food he didn't want to eat and that she'd eat his ass and I should expect bruising. The next day my father picks him up and dropped him off to my girlfriend at our house. After dinner she went to put him in the shower and was horrified at what she saw. Imagine a tiny 7-year-old boy with a completely bruised ass. And I mean deep purple, yellow, and green bruises. She called me immediately. I rushed home from work, calling the police on my way. A sergeant from my local PD was very helpful and supportive to my little boy. Told me what to file and how to file it, and that I should rush to Children's Hospital. He also called his lifelong best friend who is a captain in the town where my ex-wife lives. Within 2 weeks I had full emergency custody and she had domestic violence charges. Fast forward a year and I'm a sole custodial parent and my son is thriving. He has gained almost 20 lbs. Can now ride a bike without training wheels. He could not ride one at all when we took custody. Good food, positive attention, and lots of love have helped him grow tremendously. Probably getting strangled by my dad after I stormed away from the dinner table while yelling that I hated eating with my parents because all they did was yell and curse at one another. My mom used to literally back me into a corner then start swinging. She'd stop after she got tired or thought I learned my lesson. The next day she'd buy me a shitty little crystal knickknack from the drugstore as an apology. It would happen about twice a year. I'd threaten to call the police. She'd say they won't believe you and arrest you for lying. This went on for years. One day, when I was 16, she thought I was being mouthy, so she walked up behind me and backhanded me in the back of my head. I had enough of it and pushed her away. She started screaming to my dad that I was attacking her. He came in and put his hands on me and I wrapped my hands around his throat until he tapped and was begging me to stop. I left home for almost a month, couch surfing and probably putting myself in way too dangerous situations for a minor. I didn't go back home until my dad finally apologized to me when he got the truth of what happened from my mom. As soon as I got back home I gave away or tossed all the shitty crystal apology gifts from my mom. I confronted my mother about all this a couple years ago on Mother's Day. She denies any of it ever happening and claimed I think I'd remember if that happened. My dad can't verify any of it since she'd always do it while he was at work. But he got real quiet when I mentioned it. I'm pretty sure he knows it happened and feels guilty that he never knew. I'm 32 years old now. I'm on good terms with both of my parents. Well, in all truth, I'm on good terms with my dad and I can tolerate my mother. I've never forgiven her or ever forgotten what she did. She can claim whatever she wants, but I know what happened. I have the scars and fractures which never quite healed right. I have the occasional nightmares about it to this day. I can only hope that I rise above it all and don't make petty decisions when I'm in control and she's helpless. My stepbrother punched me in the face and gave me a bloody lip. My stepmother decided as a punishment she would hit us both with a belt. I don't know why I was in trouble for getting punched, but she held onto the end of the belt with the holes and swung the belt buckle at us. It hit the back of my right hand and I still feel the pain in the back of my hand when I squeeze something with it. I got punished for getting punched in the face. I still don't understand what I did wrong 23 years later. That reminds me of the time my brother punched me in the nose and I had blood gushing all over my new silk shirt. It was the 90s. I was the one who got screamed at and punished for ruining the shirt because I shouldn't have aggravated my brother. We were in the car and all I did was start talking to him. Mine would sit on me and cover my mouth and nose with her hand until I passed out. I'd wake up later and she'd be going on with life as if nothing happened. And then she wonders why I don't talk to her and I'm trying to get custody of my siblings. Edit. Sweet maple syrup Batman. This blew up. Thank you all for your support and I feel for every single one in this thread. To those suffering currently, run. Get out. There's a lot of threads that say to tread carefully, and yes, I was homeless once I escaped, but do it. Just do it. I now have a house, a support network, and I'm not strictly non-con because of the siblings. Every time I hear my egg donor's voice, I feel an anxiety attack quickly taking hold. Run. Run far far away. Even if you wait until you're stable, run. The law won't always help, and neither will the state, so you have to make sure that you get out of it. Therapy will be your best friend. Talking to people you know and trust, even ranting to strangers online helps. We listen. There's a lot of subreddits on here that I rely on to remind myself that I can't just automatically think that X was my fault or Y was normal. It will get better. It might get worse. It might stay terrible for a while. It might suck, and you might want to give up, but there will be a break in the rain. It might not be the deus ex machina you hope for, but non-con will be the most amazing feeling in the world. If your toxic relatives reach out, you will get to laugh and hang up on them. It will be okay to cry after. It will still hurt and go against everything you were gaslighted into believing. You are the master of your fate. You are the captain of your soul. I got the wooden spoon a lot, and once my mom was so angry, not particularly at me, just in general, which is more messed up, that she threw a porcelain teapot at the back of my head while I was going down the stairs. But the scariest beating I saw happened to my best friend in high school. We were supposed to be having a sleepover at her house, but instead we went out and partied till 3 AM. When we got to her house, her dad was up. I'm pretty sure he was drunk, and he was pissed. He beat her with a field hockey stick for what seemed like forever. She was in bad shape. Suffice to say, I never slept over there again. Edit. For everyone asking if I called the cops or reported her dad, 2 things. I was 15Y/0 and never experienced anything like that in my life. I was definitely in shock and scared for my life as this was unfolding. Obviously that's not an excuse. I later mentioned to her that I was thinking about telling someone, but she begged me not to, as her mom was not in the picture and she was the only one taking care of her younger brother and did not want to be separated from him. She moved out with her brother as soon as we graduated high school. My mom said I couldn't have a best friend anymore because my best friend and I were drawing pentagrams on manuscript paint at our after school program, pretending they were transmutation circles from an anime called Full Metal Alchemist. Pentagrams are much easier for a 9-year-old to draw than an intricate alchemy array. My mom immediately jumped to this being devil worshipping, despite my friend and I not even knowing what a pentagram really meant. This led to my mom telling every single teacher and after school care worker not to allow me to be anywhere near my friend. Friend moves away and mom won't let me ML her to stay in touch. I'm 24 now and haven't had any close friends since. Christina, if you're out there, I still miss you.